And now it's Boomer Life. Lifestyle ideas designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation. This is Boomer Life.
We're back on Boomer Life, AM 650. My name is Simone Greywall. In studio with us, we have Lydia Miller, the Regional Director of Sales in BC from Revera Retirement Living. Hello. And Rob Gillis, the Executive Director at Revera's Fleetwood Villa. We've been talking about retirement living, and also with us, Susan Borax from Good Riddance. Now, we've talked a little bit about Revera and some of the activities offered there, but Rob, tell me about your musical background and how you've utilized it at Revera.
And how you got us to get you a grand piano.
Well,
Thank you.
well, well.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I was absolutely blessed to be raised in a very musical home. My mother was a professional organist for her entire career. My father played in jazz combos, etc. When he was a youth. And then after they had all three of us kids, my parents pulled together an organization called the Maple Leaf Singers, which was founded in 1968. My father was a conductor, my mother was the pianist, and I was raised around the Maple Leaf Singers. Well, fast forward about 40 years later, my wife and I now sing with the Maple Leaf Singers.
Wow.
And the great part about the Maple Leaf Singers, this isn't an advertisement for them, but the focus of the Maple Leaf Singers is to bring entertainment to places like Fleetwood or Crofton Manor or other Revera properties.
Parkwood Manor, you've been there.
Parkwood Manor, yep, we've been to many, and we've even been to many of our competitors as well.
What?
We have. But
don't let Lydia know.
We're going to have to talk.
But the focus is bringing that type of live show to those that can't necessarily get out to a theater. So, for example, just 2 Saturdays ago, the Maple Leaf Singers were at Fleetwood Villa. We had a 50-voice chorus at the end of our lounge, and we had about 130 people that were down listening to the show. It was a packed house. We had friends and family that had come in from outside, and the residents absolutely loved it.
And at White Cliff, it was standing room only, I heard.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and we're going to be putting on a show again at Crofton Manor later this month in April. But it's a wonderful, wonderful part of my life that I'm able to share with our residents. And sometimes that happens in the middle of the day. I'll be in the middle of a stressful day, and I'll come out to the lounge, sit down at the grand piano, sing a few songs, and make our residents' lives just that little bit brighter.
And Bert.
And Bert comes out and dances.
And that just comes to when both of you mentioned how rewarding your job is, because a part of that, it's not so much part of your structured work day. It's something fun that you also get to do.
Absolutely. And it just brings the joy of music is amazing. And I'll just share a quick story. We did recently get a grand piano. Head office granted us the funds to go out and find a nice baby grand piano. The day the grand piano came in, one of our residents, the day before, he came up. This is a good story. He came and he asked for a meeting with me. He says, "Rob, I want to know when the piano's coming in." And I said, "Well, it's actually coming in at noon tomorrow." "Excellent, I'll be there." Our resident was sitting at the front door when I came in at 7:30 waiting for the piano to come in. I then walk into my office and he said, "No, that's okay, Rob, I'll let you know when it comes." Another one of our residents who also plays the piano was sitting in our lounge.
Is that the lady?
That is our lady. Yes, that's Irene.
Who hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, and they're both legally blind, but are just such fabulous, fabulous people. Anyway, 12 o'clock noon rolls around, the piano comes. Sure, so Bernie comes into my office and lets me know it's here. Walks in, he wants to watch them set up the piano. They set up the piano. Bernie then sits down and plays for 45 minutes. This is somebody who would usually sit down for 5 or 10 minutes at a piano. Then he walks over with his walker and grabs Irene by the arm and brings her to the piano. She plays for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And you think they're done. It's time for lunch. Not the
Nope.
case. Bernie's back there for another half an hour. Then Irene's back for another half an hour. And what this has done is sharing the love of music. We now realize that we have 6 pianists that live at Fleetwood Villa as residents.
Age is more.
And we only knew of 2 before we encouraged that participation.
That's amazing.
And speaking of amazing and great shows, we had a fabulous show just this last Saturday out at Fleetwood Villa, and Susan was a big, big part of that.
Clutter Mania. Tell us a little bit about that and how that came to be.
Well, we've been performing Clutter Mania for about 7 years now. It was created by myself and my partner, Heather Niddle. She is a member of a gospel choir, and we know that moving is such a stressful thing that we were thinking, what is a way that we can actually make this a little more lighthearted?
More enjoyable.
So what we did was we took a lot of songs that were standards and show tunes, the songs that, of course, this population is very familiar with. And we changed all the lyrics to really examine the relationship or the curious relationships that people have with their stuff. So it's a musical review that's about 45 minutes long. We've got 4 people on the cast. We call ourselves Dust Bunny and the Mavens of Mess.
Nice.
And so
Good title.
each little song has, dancing choreography, a little bit of dialogue, and it talks about these various aspects of the struggle that people have with clutter. We have a great time doing it. We have even a sing-along component as part of the show as well. And I think we're just going to continue to perform this as long as audiences are clamoring for it.
That's a nice way to put a spin on it.
It is. We had many chats with family members that were trying to help their parents make a decision, and they came to the show on Saturday. And again, talk about a light bulb moment. It's almost as if there was an epiphany. Wow, I never thought of it that way.
If you're just joining us, this is Boomer Life on AM 650. My name is Simone Graywell. Today we're speaking about retirement living with the experts from Revera Retirement Living. Lydia Miller is the Regional Director of Sales in BC, and Rob Gillis, the Executive Director at Revera's Fleetwood Villa. Also with us, Susan Borax from Good Riddance. The website again is reveraliving.com. Now, Rob, tell us a little bit about some of the benefits to a baby boomer child, or even you, Lydia, of a parent who has a parent and they're considering retirement living.
Oh, goodness. I hate to say it, but in 2 weeks I am a junior senior, like a true boomer. But some of the benefits really are when you come in and you talk to us and you actually, open up your heart and your mind and share your family situation. It's like we can offer you comforts of providing a safe environment, knowing that if you're living in a 45 minutes away, or you're living in another town and you just aren't handy to be there when mom needs you to come over and change a light bulb or fix, a screen on her window, then we're there. But we're also there to make sure that if she has a fall, she's capable of alerting us. And within 30 seconds, someone will be at her door to check on her. We've got some communities that have licensed practical nurses on 24/7. We have in my complex care buildings 4 of them. We also have RNs who are there to service and be available to assist with any emergency. And luckily, because we've been around for so long and have a fairly good reputation, I would think, that with a lot of the hospitals and the paramedics and, the ambulance drivers and everything, they're familiar with our communities. They know how to access, how to help us, and how to, take good care of our residents.
When it comes to our boomer children of our residents, what it really gives them is peace of mind, knowing that mom or dad or both are looked after and are in a good place. In a way, it gives them back their lives, especially if they were the primary caregivers. All of a sudden, all that time that was spent managing the concerns of mom and dad or the affairs of mom and dad, now all of a sudden, when they go and see mom and dad, they're visiting. They're no longer managing the affairs. So it even improves the relationship between the siblings.
Yeah, it's no longer talking about problems at home. It's actually a nice family visit,
And you're saying it gives the baby boomers their life back, but it's giving mom and dad their life back, too. They're no longer at home just kind of, solo by themselves.
And it definitely eases any guilt they might have of, that philosophy of, oh my God, I got to put mom in a home.
Exactly.
When they see them thrive after they move in, it's amazing how even the kids say, oh my God, I don't believe the anguish I had over this. And we even provide some pretty good tools to the boomer children if they're in a situation where they're trying to get mom and dad to see, the benefits themselves. And it's about being independent. It's about keeping control for, I would think, the mom or dad. And for the adult children, it's like, how can you say it in such a way that you're not being disrespectful, that you're not trying to push mom into a corner and saying, you got to do this. We can help you with that. We've got tools that we gladly give away to help you with that situation.
For mom and dad, it's like a new lease on life.
ReveraLiving.com is the website. Thank you so much, Lydia, Rob, and Susan, for joining us in studio today. It's been very helpful and telling us about retirement living at Revera. Thank you so much for joining us on Boomer Life. My name is Simone Graywall, and this is AM 650.
Thank you, Simone, for
Thank you,
letting
Simone.
us
Thank
share.
you.